Hey, this is Matt once again with the back to the video, and this is a paid request for Thomas. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a Cash App as well. Links are down below in the info box. I'll get to as soon as I possibly can. So thank you for that. And this is for 2 episodes of something called Mr. Meaty. I went, what is this? I guess this is only a thing in Canada, where Nickelodeon had these interstitials. I think they had 1 episode in 2005, but mostly started in 2006. I guess technically it had 2 seasons. And it was done with puppets, where it seems that, it is kid friendly, but at the same time with the aesthetics, it does seem a bit creepy. Maybe something that would have worked better on Adult Swim. But it's done with puppets, and it was interesting for what it was. I was able to see it on archive.org, the Internet Archive thing. And the ones he wanted me to look at was Dug of the Dead and Dream of the Dead, 2 that dealt with zombies. One of them having a reference to Romero. Not George Romero, they changed the first name, but still to Romero. So, as they were kind of interesting to watch. They're all done with puppets. And the idea of the show is about 2 guys who work at a fast food place. Josh and Parker. And one's a bit thinner. And, hey, dude, how's it going? Like, trying to talk a little bit like Ted Theodore Logan. The other guy's like a bit fatter and likes to fart, which is, to me, jokes. Because throughout these 2, there's like 2 or 3 fart jokes, which I'm not a fan of those type of jokes. And I don't know how else to explain it. I guess you just have to look up a clip, which I would show. I had one person get mad. Why do you show clips? Because YouTube is a hypocritical bit of business. Some people get away with it. Some people like me, they just stop and block it. But in Dug of the Dead, they just get this machine called the Salivator. They're trying to make a zombie film. They're filming with this other guy, this older guy named Doug, who seems like a tough guy. Sounds a little bit like Elvis. Likes to wear sunglasses, shaped like an egg. But anyway, they turn this machine on, and what this machine does is it turns customers to want meat, but they're kind of acting like zombies. They keep turning it off and on, off and on. They go, well, wait a minute, we could use this as extras for our zombie movie we're filming. So they'll lead them through the mall, because the fast food place is part of the mall. And they're filming them, but then the machine breaks. They don't know what to do. They go to Doug. He's scared, of course, at first, as anyone would be scared of zombies. But ultimately, as they're grabbing onto our lead characters, Doug comes in, breaks the machine, everyone goes back to normal, and everything's fine except the head manager, or whatever he is, who's like in a wheelchair, and he looks like a zombie himself, gets pissed at these 2 for ruining the machine and starts trying to run them over with his like little cart. And then, yeah, that was for like 10 minutes, and then another 10 minutes was another story called Suburb of the Apes, where this game-crazed console has a commercial, and our 2 characters are in a tent. They're first in line, but one of them has a brother who throws them out of the line. So then I think Parker goes, hey, why don't we just make a time machine? I just make it out of sausages and jumper tables. So he says they don't go 2 months ahead, but they find out they went 600 years ahead. So now there's these crazed baboons. And I guess it depends how you like quirky, weird Nickelodeon stuff. if you're a sucker for that, you need to get more out of this. Like I said, to me, it was like somewhat interesting. And like the jokes, like you think they're throwing poo, but you find out they're actually throwing chocolate ice cream. I guess like show your butt, show your dominance, or show that you're, I guess, obedient, or whatever the case may be. I guess obedience. And now they're trying to listen to the baboons until the one guy gets pissed and says, "I didn't get my video game console." And he's fighting the head baboon and steers him. So now all the baboons are scared of them and show their asses. And like, ooh, we should get these guys pants. Like the way I'm describing it sounds like I'm on an acid trip. I took acid, I'm trying to describe something. So they get back to their regular time. Because again, the guy should just make the time machine just like that. The bro and his bud that push him out of the line, they sit the baboons on them. They get the game trays, they play with the baboons win. They get pissed about it, and it's over. The episode's over. Now again, like the look of the puppets are definitely creepy because like their eyes are buddy, like they're not only wide but they like really jut out. And like there's no cursing, there's no nudity. It's, I guess you would say, is meant for kids, but the way it acts and the way people talk, it is meant for kids, or meant for people that are really high on weed. So maybe it's meant for both. If you're a kid or you're high on weed, maybe it's for both demographics. I don't know. I mean, it was interesting. It's not like it made me want to watch the whole show. And then Dream of the Dead. I'll probably say I liked this more because it was one story that had 20 minutes to flesh out. So I'll probably say Dream of the Dead I liked a bit more than the other one. Where they're dealing with this annoying customer who wants to fillet a seal. And he's like asking these dumb questions. Are your food frozen? All of our food's frozen. Well, can I get this? Well, that's frozen too. I'd be like, man, if you had a customer like this, you just punch him in the face. But then one of them has a horror magazine and says, oh, Romero. Again, they couldn't say George Romero. I forget the first name they used. Lucas E. Romero. He's got this contest, horror movie contest. We can make a horror movie. So they try to come up with ideas, but like they make a banner, but they spell zombie wrong, so it's ninja zombies, not ninja zombies. And like I said, the way they talk, like, awesome times 100, dude. You know, they don't say dude, but surprised they didn't. Then you have this montage of them trying to come up with ideas and failing. Come up with an idea here. Oh, how about, like they're banging their head against the wall. As you tell, it's like time lapse. This is one of those spits where you also did a fart joke, because I guess kids love the farts. So then they have auditions. It was kind of funny, like the girl's supposed to be acting scared. They go, oh, ooh, oh, oh, oh. And that's the way they're acting scared. I don't know why that made me laugh. Just something how silly it was. It did make me chuckle. So they get the idea, well, why don't we're going to bring a dead actor back to life, which is Lugosi. So I guess instead of Boris Karloff, Bailey Lugosi, it's Lugosi. They bring him back to life. He wants brains. They go, listen, you make our movie, you be part of our movie, then we'll get your brains. And ultimately he says, fine. And then they're trying to make the film. So they did a crew. A microphone gets in a girl's hair. Our two leads are the stars. They're in this cemetery. They accidentally hack Lugosi's head off. He's pissed about that. He says, listen, I won't go any further until I get some brains. The prop guy says, oh, I'll make you fake ones. And of course, he realizes there are fake ones. He goes a bit of a tism until he's like, well, you guys gave up. Now I don't want to eat your brains. He gives him a pep talk about perseverance. The three of them decide to finish the film, where they have like this kind of like sword fight. That's how, I mean, it's done with puppets and it's done with this low budget Nickelodeon, so it's not going to look good. Which makes it funny because they show Romero the film and he shits on it, saying, this is the worst film I've ever seen. And says why it's so bad. But he says, well, my first film wasn't that good either. Now, obviously, if they're speaking to Romero, they're not talking about Night of the Living Dead. They're talking about, like, films he did before that. Which I don't know if I ever saw those. So they take that as a good sign. And Bergozzi was outside, didn't like that Romero was talking shit about his acting, so he goes in to bite and eat Romero. Then it shows that apparently the two guys went on and made a bunch of movies and were successful, and Bergozzi was able to get his brains and all that stuff. Now, I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about in terms of satire or writing. Production values probably the same as, I don't know, an episode of Cranky Anchors, if you remember that show on Comedy Central. Only this one is not as rough and blue with the humor compared to that one. Again, I guess it was that era of Nickelodeon where, yeah, just bring us your weird, crazy shows. Because some of them will be successful, like Aqua 100 Teen Force and some of these other shows. And then you have shows like this that, again, I had never even heard of before. Like I said, I guess because it was just a Canada thing. And, like I said, I don't know. I mean, it was cool to see reference to George Romero. It's funny, I'm looking at the ratings. It's either 5 or 1. Not a whole lot in between. It says 2005 to 2009. But I swear it's also said 2 seasons. Early 2000s show that traumatized me. I hated this show because it scared the hell out of me. Wow. So there you go. Creep me out. Generally had nightmares about this show. Odd show, but loved every bit of the weirdness. Fever Dream show. Some liked it. Guess there was a computer game too that people played. Whole lot of meat fresh off the grill, so come on down to Mr. Meaty's. Where friends are meat. Eat. Contact my therapist for details. My grandma never let me watch the show whenever it was over, probably for good reason. Love the show. Children's cartoons are not horrifying anymore, but I guess unsupervised access to the internet is their version of scary as fuck cartoons. Well, I mean, this puppet show. But yeah, I guess there's a decent amount of people that remember it and going, whoa, what the hell? I guess for me, I've just seen so many other weird things that, well, also I'm 40, so maybe if I saw this stuff when I was 10, I'd be like, what the hell? Or maybe these are on the weirder ones. I don't know. But I just, for a kid show, like, knocking someone's head off and one eat their brains and the other stuff. You know, like I say, it's hard because it seems like something that definitely if you're nostalgic for or you grew up watching, you probably can appreciate more so. Like I say, if you like weird, quirky, cult type of, well, cult, like, this seems like a show that'd be like a cult show. Like weird, quirky stuff for kids. Like the thing I remember back in the day was Erie, Indiana. Where it was like the leftover episode. I remember like you watch it now, it's like okay, it's nothing that creepy, but remember as a kid going, okay, this seems a bit weird here and a weird there. So maybe kind of like how I remember vague memories of Erie, Indiana. Some may have vague memories of this. So, but I mean, I didn't think it was. I didn't hate it or anything. I didn't care for the couple fart jokes. But I mean, at least it seemed a bit unique. I don't mind the idea that they worked at a fast food place, bit of a different environment for this kind of show. Also, they're doing with puppets, which there's a lot of people doing comedy stuff with puppets. I mentioned Crank the Yankers and other stuff. It seemed popular at the time. So I don't know if for anyone out there who's in Canada, because I guess, do you guys remember the show? What are your memories of it? What are your thoughts on it? Love it, hate it? What memories do you remember? Episodes that you remember? Feel free to comment if you wish to, and let me know. Let me know. Feel free to give me info on it down below in the info box, down below in there in the comments. Well, that said, thanks for watching. Definitely a bit of a weird show. I mean, if it was requested, I would watch more. Does it makes you more I think about it? Does it make you intrigued as to what else they showed, what else they showcased? Especially reading some of those comments. But with that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye.